I don't know about you, but I am very anxious person. Even if it doesn't seem like from outside, I look cool, calm, and collected. Inside of me, there is a freaking hurricane of thoughts and emotions going on. And I am about to tell you what gives me anxiety, and in the end of the video, how I deal with it and how I overcome it. So keep watching. Where my anxiety comes from. Anxiety from the unknown. Not knowing what will happen, how you are going to deal with something because you have never done it before. This gives me a lot of anxiety because I kind of like knowing in advance what's going to happen so I can be prepared with a plan and with kind of approximate picture in my mind, so I kind of have some confidence prior a situation or event or something that's about to happen. I like to be prepared. So when something unknown comes up, it gives me a lot of anxiety because of the unknown. An example that I can think of from my life was quite big anxiety for me when I was moving accommodations. I found a new apartment for rent, and it was my first experience renting apartment by myself. I didn't know what that might cost. I knew that I was going to do it no matter what, and I already started the process, but in the middle of the process I found out how much it would cost me, and I didn't have that much cash on hand, and I started freaking out. I signed it, giving in to my fear and giving in to my anxiety. I just jumped into it. Literally, I just pushed through this anxiety and fear because I really wanted it. It just overrode my anxiety and fear, my desire to move to this new apartment. But then, when I did, I signed everything, I moved apartments. I remember I was laying down in my bed in my new apartment. I only had that one bed, and I was laying down in that bed, extremely anxious, looking at the ceiling, the beautiful ceiling, by the way. I was thinking to myself, what the fuck am I doing? What the fuck have I just done? I cannot afford it. I don't deserve living here. I'm afraid to stay here. This is not my apartment. I want to go back to my old apartment and to my old life. That was freaking scary. But then little by little, things started to sort themselves out with my help. I could delay some payments. I could pay for something with a credit card. And my friend came in offering help so I could take some side jobs to earn some extra money on the side, which helped me a lot. I paid it off really quick, and in the end of the month I had way more money than I thought, not even just to cover the apartment, but for my own pleasures, for my own entertainment or investment. So at that moment I just trusted life. I went into this deal with the courage that I will go through this, I will survive, and something will help me. Like I will figure something out. And I did. I remember how scary it was, but in the end of the day, right now it's just a memory. Next one is anxiety from not being able to control every aspect of life or situation. This is a big one for me because I do like having control of some aspects of my life or situations that are upcoming or events that are upcoming. I like to be prepared. I really love to feel confident about something, that I know how I'm going to deal with it. I know how I'm going to move, what I'm going to say. So unknown scares me, to be honest. And when I plan something, for example, a meeting with a friend or my day with someone, and when my plans don't go how I imagine it in my head, or my friend or a person I'm meeting is changing plans last minute, let's say, I have really hard time readjusting because I've built so much structure in my head about this event and imagined everything and built up my kind of confidence of how is it going to be, and I already got attached to this image. So when something changes, a plan changes or a friend doesn't show up, it breaks this structure and it feels painful because it's kind of already a part of me. So this is something that I still learn how to overcome, and this is something to do with expectations and your imagination. So you put on a lot of expectations on the actual reality, which creates a lot of pressure, which gives you anxiety, which gives me anxiety. And that translates into anxiety from a pressure of life not meeting expectations. This was kind of hard to formulate into sentence, but now it makes so much sense because this pressure, these expectations that I built in my head about some upcoming event or some upcoming conversation or anything that's about to happen, I just comes automatically. All these thoughts and all these images, there are thousands of them in my mind. They create and generate this image and expectation of something based on my past or whatever, and I get attached to it so quickly. I have this whole event already happened in front of me in a second, and I'm attached to it already, and I create so much pressure because of these expectations. So when I go and show up to the actual event in the reality, I don't see the event anymore. I project my own expectation and my own reality on this event that is actually happening in real life. And it literally creates this pressure of anything that could go differently. It will piss me off or gives me anxiety or break my mood. This even sounds like anxiety, to be honest. So I'm learning lately to reduce expectations, because whenever you go in and experience life with 0 to maybe even negative expectations, somehow things turn out freaking wonderfully. Just remember some moments when you really didn't think something would go well or had 0 expectations. Because you had no pressure, you were so chill, you allowed life to happen. And you actually relaxed and experienced life and enjoyed it. The next one is a big one. Anxiety of talking to a beautiful girl. This is, I think, number one for every man out there, because you're putting yourself on the line. Everything that you got, you're putting on the line in those few seconds when you meet a girl. That creates so much pressure, which in terms creates a lot of anxiety. For me lately, this anxiety is not overwhelming, something that I cannot control, but it's kind of a quick rush of anxiety. When I see a girl, I have a lot of thoughts coming in, what am I gonna say? And I start overthinking, and that brings me a lot of anxiety. Not the fact that the girl is there and I'm gonna talk to her. My thoughts, my overthinking brings me more anxiety than the actually real situation right here in front of my eyes. And this anxiety never goes away. Regardless how many times you approach girls, it's just something in you. It's just something natural, and without it, without this anxiety, it would be too easy, and it wouldn't present you a challenge, and it wouldn't be that interesting. Everybody would be walking up to beautiful girls with full confidence, and everyone will be doing the same thing. Everyone will be getting results if they don't have anxiety. So it kind of doesn't make sense. That anxiety acts like a threshold, acts like a filter. You overcome your anxiety, you get a girl. You get to talk to a girl, you get her number. If you don't, you stay single forever. The next one for me is anxiety from going to new places, which has people, which also has beautiful girls inside. I think it's more related to beautiful girls being in the places I am about to go. That gives me anxiety because I know I will have to and I will want to talk to the most beautiful girls. And that brings me anxiety in advance, even before I go to that place. It happened to me and it happens till now when I'm checking out new venue, some beach club, for example, or I saw stories that girls hang out there. So I want to go there. And when I think of going there, I'm like putting the pressure again on myself that I need to look the best. I need to spend a lot of money. The girls will look super hot in that beach club and I won't be able to talk to them. So I kind of subconsciously already avoiding going there because I'm afraid, I have anxiety. So this all comes with overthinking, creating some kind of reality in your mind that doesn't relate to a real reality. So for me to overcome this, I would invite a friend, for example, so I'm not going alone. I will go in a group first just to check out the location, to become confident with whatever is happening there, to know how do I get in, what's the entrance fee, where is the parking, what kind of people go there. So this location knowledge gives me confidence. It gives me the map inside of my brain, inside of my mind. And next time I could go by myself and I will feel more confident because I've done it before, so I can talk to girls more confidently. Next one is anxiety of being ghosted. This has been happening a lot lately, and this has been some kind of a normal thing lately when people just don't want to confront you or explain you. They just simply ghost you. And from the amount of girls I'm talking to, it's just the numbers game. I get ghosted a lot because I talk to beautiful, hot girls that get hit by guys a lot. So their tolerance to responding or to explaining is close to zero. And that has been hitting me hard until I learned how to deal with it and how to overcome it. Because I do have, or I actually did have, I don't want to say that I do still have it. I did have abandonment kind of issues in the past, and this wound is still being healed. So whenever someone is ghosting me or not replying for days, I get this anxiety creeping in of I am not worthy enough. Am I worthy enough? What is wrong with me? And this is so deeply subconscious in me. It sits so deeply in subconscious that I'm really having a hard time dealing with it because it overrides my emotions, my thinking, my rational thinking. By being ghosted multiple times, I am kind of already, when I start texting or seeing a girl, I'm already with the mindset of not attaching to it too much, of being prepared, being ghosted again at any moment because it happens really out of blue. So I kind of also prepared to that. I prepared my mind and I know how to cool it off. I know how to talk my mind into understanding that this is not a big of a deal. This is not about me. Whatever happens, just move on. It's just about repetition and knowing yourself, your inner mechanisms, your inner responses to trauma, to people ghosting you in this case. The next one will be anxiety from confrontation. This one is big for every human on earth because it puts you on the line and it's very personal when you have to fight with someone or express your frustration or give some kind of feedback, hurt someone or not to hurt someone, or give someone a closure or reject someone, tell someone that you don't like them. It's really hard to tell someone you don't like them and not hurt them. That's why there's a lot of ghosting going on because people don't want to do that. They don't want to go through confrontation and conflict. They don't want to tell someone that they don't like you or stopped liking you because it's going to hurt you. And they don't want to go through this kind of feelings. So it's really easy to ghost and move on. That's why I do have as well a confrontation anxiety, because it's uncomfortable. And I used to have a lot of fights back in my household. My mom and dad were fighting. So I'm really sensitive to screaming, to heated emotions and anger. I'm very sensitive to all this stuff, and it brings me literally tears and a lot of my heart starts beating, anxiety kicks in. So it takes a lot of breath work for me to cool down and not to go into the fight mode and fully lash out on someone. I barely do that. I calm down, I think rationally, I try to take other people's side, not to see only my own, because everyone thinks they are right and they are the only right and their thinking is right. But when you step back a little bit and take someone else's side, you understand that it's another human there and they view world differently. And when you speak about these differences, you can understand another person better. You can express how are you dealing or how you are actually. And if the person is smart enough, they will get it, and you will get that person and you will come to peace. Anxiety from public speaking. This is a big one because you have to speak in front of conscious, alive people that are paying you attention at this moment. They're looking at you, they're expecting you to say something. And if you say something stupid, you will look stupid. There's a lot of things, there is a lot to put on the line. Just practice reduces this anxiety. But again, it will never go away, just like talking to a beautiful girl. Publicly speaking, it's just a matter of repetition and soothing that anxiety and reducing it by building confidence in it. I used to take public speaking classes. The minute before you have to go on stage, the rush of adrenaline inside your body, your heart is racing, your voice is breaking down into pieces. Just like, hello, I am public speaker. Your body language, your hands, you're hiding everything. I really think everyone should go through this. I was going to those classes for like half a year or so. And I got good at it, and we were recording it all the time. So when I looked at myself from outside, from others' perspective, I saw a calm, collected dude who's just talking confidently on the stage. But inside of me, there was so many things going on. The heart was beating. The arms, the hands, they weren't listening. The knees, the voice, it's just your inner sensations. And they're extra exaggerated in the moment of public speaking. So it's simply not what people see. In conclusion, I'd like to say that looking at things that give me anxiety, I've come to a conclusion that overthinking fuels anxiety. Actions reduce anxiety. So how I deal with anxiety, this would be my action plan. First of all, accept the anxiety. Accept that you're anxious now. This is what's happening. Accept the reality. Accept facts. This is what happened. I'm not able to change it anymore at the moment because it happened. This is the reality right now. I am accepting it together with my anxiety. I take time to cool down. Basically, just to cool down. Whatever you do, go to sleep, go for a walk, listen to some music, go see friends, go for a drive. Take time to cool down and don't overthink. And in general, take some time. Take a day or two, give it some time. Meanwhile, you taking time, cooling down, your mind will adjust to a new reality, a new situation, and it will seem less not that big as it was before. And then you can start thinking of action you can take now or later with your feelings and emotions cooled off and calmed down. Don't act on emotions. After some time, you will not feel same anxiety anymore. Because imagine life is just like a river will flow through your head, bringing in new thoughts, new situations, new events, and it will just fade away that old anxiety because it will be back in time, in the past. Your new reality will be coming in constantly as a flow of life. And that anxiety that you had 2-3 days ago of being ghosted, of public speaking, of facing unknown, of moving to a new apartment, of having a conflict, it won't seem that big after time have passed and you are rational now with less emotions. Then you can think of actions you can take at that very moment based on rationality, on reality, and not on anxiety and emotions. And you will be just fine. I believe in you. I recommend you watching this video to know yourself a little bit better and know how to deal with your emotions. And I see you in the next one.